Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a good Monday and a good start to the week. So this morning I worked first thing after taking my daughter to school. Me and my husband dropped her off together. Her bag is really heavy, so we actually walked into the school with her. And then when I came back, I had my first meeting at 9 o'clock. So that was the exit interview that I mentioned the other day. So I had given loads of other dates on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays and Fridays, but none of those were convenient. I'd sent some more dates, none of those were convenient. So then I added a couple of Mondays and she chose the first Monday. So I had that meeting first thing. My second meeting was cancelled because the person couldn't make it, which is a bit of a worry really. And then the third meeting I had was just learning about a system that we use. There's a couple of things that I needed to find out about it. So I organised a meeting just to run through things. And then once I'd finished, I then went to the supermarket. So I went to two supermarkets this morning. I went to Lidl first of all, and then I went to Tesco. And today I spent slightly more in Lidl than what I did in Tesco. Which is a bit unusual for me. Usually I spend more in Tesco, but I managed to get sort of more vegetables, fruit, some fish in Lidl. So spent a bit more than what I normally do. Then when I came back, I got back later because there were a couple of people that I saw in the supermarket. Normally I'm in and out really quickly, but there were a couple of people that I saw and I stopped and spoke to them. And I had a drama to get to the supermarket because I called for my husband downstairs, called for my husband upstairs, called for my husband outside, couldn't work out where he'd gone, but he'd popped out and he'd gone out with the car key in his pocket. So I called him loads and loads of times, but he had his mobile phone on silent, so he didn't see my calls. But then I found a spare key. So I managed to get to the supermarket using the spare key. Never used that key before. Then I got all the stuff for lunch, but by the time I'd got back, my husband had been back quite a while and had made lunch for us. So I decided to put all the freezer things away, and then I went and sat outside and had my lunch outside in the garden. So that was nice. It was quite relaxing. It was just a shame that we didn't get to have lunch together. If I'd have been quicker in the supermarket, I reckon I'd have been back and we'd have been able to have lunch together. It was quite bright today, not particularly warm, and it rained a little bit this afternoon, but it was quite bright and certainly nice to sit outside at lunchtime. Although, as you can see, I have got jumper on. So here, earlier I was just wanting to keep on top of the washing up. So I am trying to do a little bit at a time. And also I realised that when I was going through the fridge, putting things away, I realised that we'd left chicken from our roast dinner in there, really lovely chicken meat, and I hate wasting food. I was so sad to see that. We've got like stuffing in there as well. Better just to put the stuffing straight in the bin. But all the nice pieces of chicken we could have used for curry, or we could have had in a sandwich. So that was a shame to waste that much. And then I'll get all my shopping out, which I know some people say about double handling, but it's because the bags are not in any sense of order. In Lidl, I just grab everything and just shove it all in the bags, not in any order. So when I get home, I like to get it all out so I can then put all the cupboard things away, the fridge things, the freezer things, etc. So I've got a food bag on the right there, ready to put the chicken in the food bag, and also the food from lunch, like the apple core and the tangerine. So you'll see my kitchen goes from not being too bad to being covered with things on both sides. And then I slowly clear all the work surfaces by putting everything away. And while you're watching that, I'm going to go through a few comments. So on my last video, which showed my new garden mirror being put up and tidying up and sorting, so Lisa Malone says the mirror in the garden is beautiful. It looks like a doorway to a secret garden. Thank you. Teresa So it's a fantastic video. I mean, your outdoor space and garden, beautiful and amazing. I love watching you in the kitchen clearing everything away. P.S. Your door in the washing machine just opened when you're brushing the floor. Yes. To be honest, I never actually close my washing machine door completely. And I do that to keep sort of the ventilation. And that's why when I just knocked it, it obviously opened up completely. Judith said, "Oh, Emma, your garden is so peaceful and beautiful. A tip on the slugs. I had the same problem when I had a garden. Use a shallow dish or plate and put a can of beer in it. They climb in to drink it. Unfortunately, they die. Another trick is to use tin foil, aluminium foil, where you don't want them. They don't like the feel of it and won't go on it. I'm glad you found the trimmers. You did a good job in getting that hedge trimmed. Your shed doesn't look that bad at all. It'll be great when you get to it." She's going to see if she can send me a picture of the lamp. She's got a lovely floor lamp and chickens. That's lovely. Thanks, Judith. And she sent me little pictures of butterflies and hearts. Thank you. Bluebird said, "I love the mirror. It looks great. Glad you got some sun. We had a nice country drive this morning and the sun has been out more than we expected. Isn't everything so much better in the sunshine?" Zoe said, "Hey, your birthday jumper looks great. Sorry I didn't make the live chat. I was in for 9:30. Never seemed to make it past 10. Oh, Emma, how do I access your gardening channel? Sounds exciting. Just loving the videos." Thank you, Zoe Brindle. That's a lovely comment. Don't worry about missing the live chat. I'll do another live chat in the future. I just haven't decided when yet. In terms of my gardening channel, it's called Gardening, and I've got about 12 followers. But you can find it if you look in the description of my video. Bluebird suggested I put it in there, so I took that advice. So you can find my channel there, my garden channel. And Sharon Steventon said, "Hi Emma, I love your garden. The mirror looks good." Thank you very much. Brooke Howell, "I don't remember where, but a few years ago I remember having a conversation about dishwashing. Some people rinse their dishes after they wash them and some don't. Now, I do rinse everything. My husband doesn't always rinse everything and I moan. But sometimes he's telling me now that he does now. But what I used to do is when he stacked all his plates, I would pour water over them to rinse them. Part of the reason is that you can taste the fairy liquid on them. If you don't rinse it off properly, you can literally taste it, particularly on glasses, plastic glasses. Carolyn Quinn says, "Your backyard is so big." Now, this conversation that we've been having about language, invigilating, revision, cocktail sticks and toothpicks is really fascinating. Now, we don't talk about backyards. Probably further up north, and please correct me, those of you that live in the north of the country, people will talk more about yards. I would describe a yard as a small sort of paved area, a little bit like they had in the back-to-back houses. A yard would literally be a sort of, 2 metre square, 3 metre square area, perhaps concrete, or a mum might say to the children, "Play in the yard." And what she'd mean by that is that they shouldn't go far. So they should just play in their little garden, their little concrete area, or in the passageway if it's a terraced house. So that's what backyard means. We don't use that. We don't use that language at all. We call it back garden and front garden. Brooke also said, "I meant to ask, what is under the bowl on your counter?" Well, under the bowl on my work surface is some bread that my husband's made for my daughter. Special bread that's gluten-free. Yeah, obviously no wheat in it, and gluten-free, and none of her allergens. And it's under a bowl like that because we were umming and ahhing about what container it could go in, because some of our other containers have had other allergens. So Alison also said she didn't think my shed was that bad. So I'm pleased to read that. She said, well, I think your shed is not bad at all. There's Alison Owen. But then I had to clear my dad's shed years ago and it's literally full. As in, you opened the door and there was a solid wall of stuff. Turned out when I emptied it that it was being held up by the contents. I'm wondering why you still have a pet carrier in the shed but no pets. So it sounds a little bit like our old shed. So when we moved to this house, we had like a shed stroke garage. It was the size of the garage but was like a shed. On the left-hand side of it, it was like all wooden. And on the left-hand side of it was still the old like rabbit hutches and chicken hutches. And you couldn't, I think they were chickens, I'm not sure. But you couldn't take them out because they literally helped hold the whole building up. And we sort of had to use them as shelves for paint and different things. And it was absolutely chock-a-block. It also had some things left in there from when we first moved in and the things that the lady had left behind. So one of the things was like that bench that I've got my herb area on. So that was one of the things. There were other things in there like an old like metal fridge thing. It was like metal with holes in it that people put meat in. Loads of different things. And quite a few things I managed to sell and get money for, incredibly. So the size of the shed, actually, looking at this picture, was the size of our building there, where the hot tub and the little side storage area or man cave is. So that we use the same area. So you can see it was quite big. But it's opened up our garden because that first part is just the shelter for the hot tub, whereas obviously it was all closed and it was sort of half falling down. There were rats in there. There was a robin's nest in there. So it was really good to get that down. We had that all put up in the first part of COVID lockdown. And then afterwards we had the arch done by the same people. I was really pleased about that. So I just felt like they made the garden look so much nicer. And I feel like the last things to do are to get those fence panels in and the old ones out. Now, my husband's not at all keen about putting the new ones in until the crazy neighbours have left. And he says that if we put the new ones in, the crazy neighbour's likely to paint it pink. So she's painted everything in her house pink. I don't think I've told you this before. But she's painted the fence panels pink, the water butts pink, the benches pink. Absolutely everything she could touch, she's painted pink. Mostly with pink emulsion, probably indoor emulsion, so it peels off and looks a right old state. Also, she's put her gate on our post, so we're planning to move that as well take that off before the new people arrive. But it's just our timing. And I did say to my husband, I do understand what you're saying, but I don't want to be in a situation where I spend another summer looking at those rotten fence panels. That boundary is supposed to be maintained by the neighbour. But she made the old lady that used to live in our house, she made her put the fence up in her garden, which is, not heard of. It's normal to put it on the boundary line. But she made the lady pay for the fence, which should have been her boundary to be responsible for. And then it wasn't allowed to be put on the boundary line. It had to be put in the old lady's garden. And it was all so she could create enough space to be able to walk down the side of her house. Whereas actually she hasn't got space to walk down the side of her house if the fence had been put up on the boundary line. I can't believe what some people can be like in order to gain like 2 inches of land. It's mean, isn't it? And I don't understand how people can live like that. And I think I can understand what my husband is saying. I honestly think that is something that she would think about doing just before leaving, painting our fence, which is in our garden, which she shouldn't be touching or painting or doing anything with. But of course, the pink paint would all come dripping into our side, wouldn't it? My dear old neighbour, the one that sadly died 1 year ago, he always said, you never win an argument with a neighbour. And that is so, so true. We're so lucky with our neighbours, the ones that are next to us, the ones that are opposite us. We're very, very lucky. But like I told you before, this neighbour that can be a bit crazy. She's known me since I've been about 5 years old, but she can be very, very up and down. She shouted at one of my neighbours. She screamed and shouted, and the person was quite afraid. I just guess it takes all sorts. We're all different, aren't we? So you can see I'm now just tidying up, doing the rest of the washing up in the kitchen, which I just wanted to keep on top of. And then tomorrow I've got a meeting in the morning, and then I'm invigilating in the afternoon. And I contacted the lady and said, oh, if you've got too many people, please let me know so I can stay at home. And I was really hoping that she was going to say, oh yeah, we've got loads of people, Emma, we don't need you. But I got the message back to say, we need you Tuesday and Wednesday. I wish I hadn't really taken the invigilating on. It's too much. I can't fit it in. It's not well paid. But there you go. I was trying to help somebody out, but I just can't fit everything in. Next week I'm not doing any invigilating, and then the week after I'm doing 2 afternoons. So again, I've said to her, if she's got loads of people and she doesn't need me, please let me know. Because I've got other things that I'd be better doing really and spending my time with. So a couple more comments. Thank you so much for taking the time to comment on my posts. I really do very much appreciate it. So Erin Craig, she says, you're doing amazing at decluttering. I love organising and decluttering, and I do it regularly, but it's amazing when I do it. There's always more you can get rid of. I get a high from getting rid of stuff. Love from Erin in Ontario, Canada. Yeah, I get that. I really get that. When I see these big bags going out of the house, that really makes me pleased. April Hoover said, a tip for your daughter's sale: if you have a bunch of little bitty things that aren't worth much individually, put them in clear Ziploc bags and sell the bag for £1 or 50p instead of pricing them individually. Tape the bag closed with packing tape so it won't get open during the sale. My sister and I did sales like this, and the grab bags always sell. You could do the same with almost anything. Hair doodles, new unused makeup, craft supplies, kitchen gadgets. I saw a lot of bits and bobs go in your sell pile, and I thought some kid would be thrilled to get a bag of those treasures. That is an excellent idea, and I spoke to my daughter about that, and she was very excited. She said that she's going to put the bags together. So thank you very much for that. And then lastly, I just wanted to check, our friend Andrea has been pet sitting and been away from her family for quite a few days. She said that she'd help a friend out, and my goodness, she sounds like she's been looking after a small zoo. I think, what animal is there not there? So I just wanted to check, are you all back now, Andrea? Are all the pets safe and well? Have the friends returned? And will you be volunteering to do that anytime soon? Hard work, that sounds. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my video. The last part of my video, you see me finishing off my kitchen, and then you see me tidying up my lounge. I started sorting through my presents to decide where I was going to put them all. And then my daughter called me upstairs to go and do stories. I'm reading her the Naughty Little Sister book. I don't know whether any of you know which book I'm talking about. It's quite funny. I remember reading it when I was quite young, but she seems to be enjoying it. So I have sorted out some of the presents, and not all of them. And then I went upstairs, read a couple of stories. Always takes a while for my daughter to sort of get back into the routine when she's back at school. So it takes her longer sort of to settle at night time. I think it's the change, isn't it? You go from like a week where routine is changed slightly, and then you go back into getting up early, trying to go to bed on time, and then falling back to sleep. So thank you for watching the video. I very much appreciate all your support and your likes and comments. Thank you. I really enjoy reading them. And if you've got this far, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.